Welcome to another eAcademy episode. Today we will discuss the process of addressing devices connected to the buses of keypads and expansion modules in the Integra control panels. What do we need to do it? Any Integra family control panel, in this case it will be the Integra 64 with enclosure, transformer and battery. Any keypad supported by the Integra system, in our case it will be the INT TSG, the ETHM1 Plus module enabling the control panel to communicate over Ethernet. Any zone or output expansion module, in this case it will be the INT E Zone Expander. Before we proceed to discuss the process of addressing, let's first explain why the addressing is necessary. At the final stage of the production process, each device manufactured by SATEL is subject to thorough quality control. In addition, after the installation of the software with the factory settings, individual components of each device undergo functional tests. Dedicated testers are used to check for correct operation of each component from the sophisticated devices that will one day find their way to our customers. After completing the test phase, the control panels, expansion modules and keypads retain their factory default settings. It means that just connecting them to one another will not be enough for them to properly function in the system. This is especially so for all devices that will be used by us today, which have received the physical address 0 in the production process. Given that the addressing process is carried out differently for each of them, we will show you and discuss each of these cases in turn. Let's start with the expanders. The control panel does not support devices with identical addresses. Hence, each device connected to the given expander bus must have an individual address in the 0 to 31 range. The addresses assigned to the expanders affect the numbering of zones and outputs in the system. In most devices, you must use dip switches to set the address. In the INT E-Zone Expander, switches from 1 to 5 are used for this purpose. Each of them is assigned a numerical value. In the off position, it is 0. Numerical values assigned to individual switches in the on position are presented in the table. The sum of numerical values assigned to switches 1 to 5 is the address to be set for the module. To set the address 3, you must set the first and second switches to the on position. Important note, when addressing devices that enable the system to be expanded by more than 8 zones or outputs, keep in mind that for every 8 zones or outputs, one address is reserved for the expander bus. That's why this type of device can take up several addresses. The control panel assigns consecutive addresses to the module following the address set on the dip switches. You should take it into account when designing the system and leave an appropriate number of addresses unoccupied. If the number of free addresses is insufficient, it will be impossible to correctly complete the identification procedure that we will discuss in the next episode. Another device in which we will set the address is the ETHM1 Plus module connected to the keypad bus. In this case, jumpers will be placed across the pins called address. How to place the jumpers to set a specific address is shown in the table below. So, if you want to set the address 2, for example, place a jumper across the second set of pins. Important notes. If the module is connected to the Integra 24 or Integra 32 control panels, it must have an address in the range from 0 to 3. If it is connected to another Integra or Integra Plus control panel, the address must be in the range from 0 to 7. The module address must be different from that set for the other devices connected to the control panel keypad bus. The control panel does not support devices with identical addresses. In most devices connected to the keypad bus, to set the address you must use pins or dip switches, as in the case with expanders. Now we will discuss how to set address for the INT TSG keypad. As mentioned earlier, the address for keypads is set programmatically. By default, address 0 is set. After starting the control panel from the factory settings, all keypads connected to the keypad bus are supported, regardless of what address are set for them. This allows you to set correct individual addresses in the keypad and perform identification of devices connected to the bus. The keypad address can be set in 2 ways. This is the first one. On the main screen, tap the wrench icon, after which the advanced screen will be displayed. Tap the keypad icon to display the terminal. Enter the factory service password 12345 and tap the asterisk to confirm. In the user menu that will open, select 9 to enter the service mode. Use the arrow keys to select Intern, Structure, Hardware, Identification, Keypad addresses. The display will show the "This LCD address" message and digits in brackets next to it. For example, 0, 0 to 7. It means that the current physical address of the keypad is 0. You can leave it or change it by selecting one of the digits from 0 to 7. Important note: similarly, as in the case of the ETHM1 Plus module, the keypad address depends on the type of installed control panel. The keypad must have an address in the range from 0 to 3 if it is to be connected to the Intrica 24 or Intrica 32 control panel. However, if the device is to be connected to another Intrica or Intrica Plus control panel, the address must be between 0 and 7. The second, less frequently used way of setting the address in the keypad is particularly useful when the keypad operation is blocked and entering the service mode is no longer possible. This is usually the case when the address of devices connected to the center are repeated. Now remove the rear part of the keypad enclosure. Disconnect the keypad power supply, KPD, and the signal cables, CKM and DTM. Short together the keypad terminals CKM and DTM. Turn the keypad power back on. The display will show the "This LCD address" message we mentioned earlier and its current address in brackets next to it. If you decide to change the address, tap the key with the selected number from 0 to 7. Disconnect the keypad power supply. Open the keypad terminals CKM and DTM. Connect the device's wires in the correct way. Turn on the keypad power supply. In this case, the change of address will also be followed by a restart of the keypad. And that's all as regards the process of setting addresses in devices. Thank you for your attention. We invite you to watch the next episodes of E Academy. See you next time.